Hi everyone, Lisa here from Down to Earth Gardening and Design. Welcome to our video today. So today we're talking about how I found a magnolia for a smaller yard. So if you love magnolias like I do and you have a small yard or you're working in a confined space, this is the magnolia for you. So it's a dwarf variety. We're going to talk a lot about it, but I'm also going to show you on how I am going to keep it the desirable size for my space by using a container. So this is Magnolia Fairy Blush. So very different than the southern magnolia that we all love, and we do have an entire video out on that because I love my magnolias. It's a dwarf variety, so it gets up to about 12 feet tall when mature and 7 feet wide, whereas our southern magnolias can get anywhere up to 100 feet tall, plus some here in Florida, depending on the cultivar. So great for small spaces, but it has some other wonderful things about it too. So it is an evergreen. So look at these beautiful leaves. And it will flower all along the stems and the branches. So you can see all of the buds here forming, versus our southern magnolia will only flower on the tips. Now the flowers are a whole other story. So they are fragrant, they are creamy white, and they have a hint of lilac pink on them. So really beautiful flower. So it does well in zone 7B to 11, and again I'm here in Florida in zone 10A with my small little yard here, and it loves well draining soil, can be planted in the ground. Now I have heard if you're in zone 7A it will do okay if you give it some extra added protection. So well in the ground, but also well in containers. And again, we're going to talk more about that in a little bit. So it does like some part sun or filtered sun or filtered shade. And that's going to be perfect for my yard here because I will get about a half day of sun. But if you'll remember from an older video where we purchased the house and I gave some tips on how you tackle some inherited gardens, I have a huge live oak here, which provides a nice filtered shade for my backyard. So you could either have it in morning sun, afternoon sun, or all day filtered sun would be ideal for this here. So in order to keep it its desired size, I'm going to be planting in a pot, and I want to show you the container that I have planned for this. Now this here is a 3-gallon size pot. I just want to show you the tags. You can get a good look at the variety and the size pot. I am loving the shape that it's in. It really will be more like a bushy shrub if you let it, or if you would prefer to have it more tree form, then after it flowers, you want to enjoy those beautiful flowers first. You want to just take the lower branches off and just train it a little bit, so just lift it up. Okay, so let's get this pot out, and it is a beast because I do want to talk a little bit about that. So this is a fiberglass pot. Love the design. Fiberglass is a wonderful material, very durable, a little bit less expensive than if you were to buy cement or a lot of the ceramic pots that are out there. And you want to make sure that it has a drainage hole. So it did have one in the center there, but we drilled some extra holes because again, it needs its well draining soil. So it can't be sitting in water. And also this is going to be a long-term home for this little magnolia here. So I'm gonna need some workspace here, and I might have to do this on the ground so you can get a better view. So what I like to do is I have a big piece of screen that I will cut up for my containers, and I like to place it over my drainage holes here just so they don't get clogged. then I have my potting mix here, and of course it's upside down, but I've already cut it open. I'll give you a look at that, and I will put up some affiliate links in the description in case you're interested in some of the materials that I'm using here today. So one of the things I wanted to also do is just measure this for you, give you a measurement in case you are following along at home. It's almost 20 inches in diameter, and it's about 22 inches tall. Okay, so we're just going to start off by putting some soil in the bottom. Try it out for size here. Okay, so I am trying to lift it a little bit so that the soil line is just a hint lower than the pot, because I really like the idea of having more of a shrub than a tree form, so I want to give the lateral branches room to grow here. So that's my goal. So I have the container filled about halfway, and I'm just going to put a little bit more in here. There we go. It's in such good shape here. There's a little bit of pressure here because this is a permanent home for this magnolia. A little added pressure. Okay. So now I'm going to carefully just fill in around it. I have it placed. Now I'm not really worried about the direction and spinning it right now because I can always spin the pot when I get that in place. Okay, so we're just filling the pot, and we want to make sure that there aren't any air pockets here. Here she is, Fairy Blush Magnolia in my container. Super excited about this. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to give it a really good water. So we want to make sure until it gets settled that we're keeping an eye on this daily, unless you have irrigation, which most Floridians do. And we will soon have irrigation to supply our plants with some regular water. That's so important down here. So I'm going to have my husband help me put this in place here. It's quite heavy, and when I do, you're going to get a sneak peek at a future video because we've been working a little bit at landscaping our little backyard, giving it some really nice backyard appeal. And remember, it's a small yard, so there's some tricks to it. But that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed our video, and I hope that you fell in love with the Fairy Blush Magnolia as much as I did. And if you liked it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for some future gardening fun.